Hey everyone, it's Jason. This video I'm just gonna do like a little quick update on upcoming content I have coming out, and just get your guys' opinions or thoughts, poll, however you want to call it, on stuff you might like to see. I noticed a lot of people love my Unstable Unicorn videos. If there's other games you'd be interested in seeing, maybe even how to play, or just other content unboxings, which I plan on doing more of, let me know in the comments. I am currently trying to finish up my Joking Hazard videos. Just have a full-time job, so it does take a little while to get to some of these. Hopefully they'll be coming up. At least the core set will be done by the end of the week, and hopefully the expansions within the week after that. Thanks for your patience. So that's the first game I have coming out. Other potential games I could do is I have already done some of the Marvel Legendary videos. There are new expansions out I don't currently own. If you guys are interested, be more reason for me to want to run out and grab them. Not that I don't want them anyhow, but I can do more unboxings with those. I also have most of the DC deck building game, so I can start doing some videos for them, and if you guys enjoy them, I can, again, go and buy more expansions, show off the newer sets of those. I also have almost every single set of Munchkin cards that are out, with, again, few exclusions from the recent sets that were just released. So if you'd like to see what are in all the Munchkin various sets to see if it's a game you're interested in, let me know. Smash Up is another one of them games. It has a bunch of different cards. I have the first 5 or 6 sets. I'm, behind on the rest. But it's another one I could do a content unboxing for if you guys are interested. And just another odd one out there is I have the Dresden Files game. So I can do that. I have many other games as well. Or if there's just something you guys are interested in seeing, let me know. If it's something I'm interested in playing as well, I'd have more reason to buy it. Again, it's all coming out of my own pocket, so I'm not going to go out and buy just brand new games just for everyone to see if I have no interest in them. Maybe if I start some way to have you guys fund me or I make money off these videos, that would be a different story, but for now, it'd have to be something I'm willing to own myself. First thing I wanted to bring up for upcoming videos beyond things I probably already own, be Llamas Unleashed. I know some people in the comments have already been looking for this. It came out last month, or beginning of the month. I understand. I got a copy with my Kickstarter Unstable Unicorns game that comes out next month in March. So I don't want to go out and buy a second copy just for unboxing when I can just wait until March. But that will be coming as soon as I get it. Like, I will try and get that like a day or two afterwards, depending on if I have a day off. Here's just a preview of some of the cards. There's a little baby llama. It plays almost exactly the same way Unstable Unicorns does. The few exceptions, I haven't read all the rules, is there are other cards that aren't specifically llamas. I believe there's some goats and some other animals. So then they work a little bit differently. I think just adds a little bit more flair. Can you mix it with the Unstable Unicorn game? Yes, sure can. You just may have to change some of the words occasionally. This is the Unstable Unicorn game I was talking about as kickstarting. I'm going to immediately apologize for kind of showing this. I want to show off the cards when it comes out. Looks like awesome expansion. It was a Kickstarter exclusive. The Kickstarter is already over. So you may be able to pick it up online eventually for somebody else for a little bit more if you are interested. Usually why I'll show it off, because if you are, then you can see it's worth the money to go find it. But it isn't a Kickstarter exclusive only set. So there was Unstable Unicorns Control, which is kind of like the light or good side characters. And then there's Unstable Unicorns Chaos, which is like darker evil characters. They actually only each have 30 separate cards, otherwise they share 128. So if you did end up finding them and for some reason you could only afford to buy one of them, you'd only be short 30 cards out of the entire set. So it's not terrible. Here's just some more cards. I'm going to zoom up. Sorry for the bad imaging. This is just again a quick video I wanted to throw out there. Shadow Unicorn, Game Master, Frankencorn, Rad Scientist Unicorn. Next coming up, also in March, is I will be getting for Kickstarter. I did a ton of Kickstarter over the last couple of months, so I'll be getting a bunch of those coming out. I have Jetpack Joyride. There's a deluxe box here, and the collector's box. I will be getting the collector's box, but the deluxe one should be coming out shortly after March, probably April, May. Usually they're a little like a month or so behind for retail. If you're not familiar, the tablet or computer game Jetpack Joyride, you fly a little jetpack through the screen, trying to get to the end. This is represented by these little tiles here. Then you have various gadget cards, mission cards, and like here's the room you have to try and fly through by placing tiles. It's a multiplayer game, seems really fun. You play down tiles, and then whoever, if you get land on a coin, you get coins. You hit objects, you lose points, or you have to start over. So that's the base game. I'm just going to go through some of the other components. Again, like with the Unstable Unicorns, I will apologize. There are Kickstarter exclusive pictures in here. But at least you get an idea. And I said, when the game comes out, I'll do an actual video, and I will try and separate the Kickstarter stuff so you know it's in the actual release box. Plus, some of these cards and images might change before they're released. So you got like a bunch more missions, bunch of different unique gadgets, different lab cards. You also need to get vehicles to unlock. So if you're familiar with the game, you get vehicles which do different things. Here was a sample tiling of the different vehicles they had. You can see they all have different squares, so they're going to land on the board differently. Next up, my huge excitement, or one of my huge excitements. This won't be coming out for me till July, probably not retail till probably August. It's the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid mini game. I've always been a fan of Power Rangers. I kind of fluctuate back and forth between seasons. I haven't watched everything. But this is based off, the Heroes of the Grid is based off the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So if anyone knows Power Rangers, you're going to recognize the characters from this. They do have expansions for other sets and other characters. I love this picture. This is how freaking big that box is. And the guy in the photo, that's not me. That is Jonathan Ying. He's the creator of the game. He's just showing off his name right down here. He's just showing off how big the box is for everybody. Here's an idea of the size of the miniatures. So, and there is a Megazord miniature, which isn't really used in the game that much, but it was something you could get during Kickstarter. Regular release game, it will just be a cardboard token. But still, that's pretty awesome. But you get Golgar, which is like a boss character, or Rita Repulsa. You can see they are a little bit taller than Red Power Ranger, which is to be expected, versus an average miniature you normally get, so they're a little bit bigger. So we're going to just kind of run through some of the stuff in the base set here. Ignore prices if you see prices. This was Kickstarter amount. They may not equal to what retail is. So we got like the red Power Ranger, blue Power Ranger. Each of the Power Rangers is colored, which just helps stand them out really quick. Unfortunately, like all miniature games, they're not painted to begin with. If I ever get around to painting mine, I'll definitely show those off too, but I doubt it. I'm terrible at painting stuff. The only thing I've ever painted were some Skylanders, which turned out pretty decent, but they also could have been a lot better. But each character has a player card, plus they get some various powers they can use. There's a pink, black ranger. Then they have various monsters, so you can have their own. What is cool about this Power Rangers game is that it is multiplayer co-op versus an AI bad guys. So one person doesn't have to play as the villains. Each player plays as a Power Ranger, and then they fight against the bad guys. The bad guys come up semi-randomly. There are master cards that have to beat so many monsters, and minions, which are like the foot soldiers. You have to fight the boss to beat them. I'm not going to explaining 100% details right now. There are these locations, they go around this board, which have all changed actually since this picture is released. They're now a circle instead of squares, which is much more effective. They also have Alpha 5 has been released, who's a playable character. It says Kickstarter exclusive, but I thought it got added to the base set. I could be wrong. Some other things to show off, they will eventually be releasing in retail a villains pack, which gives you some of the other classic villains from the original series. Commander Crayfish, Paludicorn, Rita Revolta, and the Master Vile. The first main expansion coming out is called Shattered Grid, which is off of a current, maybe not so current anymore, Power Ranger storyline, where basically the Green Ranger, Tommy, became evil, took over other Rangers, and then these are some brand new characters they made for that storyline and some other stuff. There's a Hyperforce Power Rangers live action role playing YouTube video you can watch. Look it up if you're interested. But these are the different characters for that. Plus the Time Force Pink Ranger, because she helps lead them. Some of the monsters you got are Ranger Slayer, which is an evil version of the Pink Ranger. The Black Dragon, which is Tommy's dragon. Here's Lord Drakon, which is the Green Ranger when he's evil. It's the Green-White Ranger combination. And his foot soldiers are the Mastodon Troopers. Basically, he took over some of the other Power Rangers' tokens, or coins, and he made them into troopers as like Red Ranger and Yellow Ranger troopers. It's just kind of a neat story. There's the dice you can get in the game. This is just extra. There's a picture of the Megazord and Cyclops. Some of these again are Kickstarter. These are Kickstarter 100% exclusive expansions. Just show them off in case you're interested. Again, I apologize for flaunting Kickstarter exclusive stuff. Got a Rita Repulsa alternate sculpt. One expansion is the Green with Evil, which is the Green Ranger. And they have said they may release these again as non-Kickstarter exclusives. They just will have different sculpts or be packaged differently. Like maybe it'll be just like the villains in a villain pack, the heroes in a separate hero pack. But you get Scorpino, you get your Green Ranger, and Kengors. But these are all bad guys. This is the Green Ranger you fight against. And then they have the White Ranger expansion, which you get the White Hero card, Lord Zed, some Super Putties. Again, just another picture of a character, their cards. Text is going to change. They've already changed some of it. Here's another expansion card that came out later. It's the Pink Ranger as a Ranger Slayer, but this is when she became a good guy. And this is the Super Red Samurai Ranger from one of the Samurai series. So that's just, that's one that came out later. It will be in the Shattered Grid expansion. Another example of one of the monsters with some of his different cards. And Master with one of their cards. Here's some putties. Eye Guy, just some sculpts for people that loved Eye Guy, and Cyclopses. And then here's one of the Green Ranger as a good guy, which is one of the Kickstarter expansions. Alright, my next huge excitement, this actually just finished Kickstarter this week, so I wanted to kind of show this off just to maybe get people interested. You may still be able to creep in if you are. This is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles miniatures game. There was one that came out a few years ago that was a 4-player versus 1 game. One person had to play the villain, other 4 people, or however you divided them, had to play as the heroes. This also has that, but it's added in a co-op mode with an AI system. So you can play 4 people together cooperatively against a computer-controlled villain. So that's kind of cool. And that's what basically sold the game on me, because I can't always find someone that wants to play a bad guy or play the Dungeon Master type character. So we're just gonna kind of scroll through some of this stuff. Again, there are probably Kickstarter stuff in here. The main set is Changes Constant. This is one of the main release core sets. You get your regular Ninja Turtles, Casey Jones, some other new characters. If you've been following the IDW comic books, you probably know more of these characters that aren't from the original series. If not, they're still pretty cool. A giant Mega Mouser, bunch of little Mouser bots, Baxter Stockman. Every character gets their own dice. Every hero character. You get hero cards, villain cards. If you are playing, your heroes get their own specialty cards. If you're playing as a villain, then you get your own special cards there. You have maps you have to get through. One of the first Kickstarter exclusive boxes was the Stan Saki box, which has Usagi, the bunny rabbit, plus some alternate sculpts for the turtles. You also get a loner wrap and a trench coat, which is pretty cool. Another really neat feature about this game is that when you roll dice to do your turn, players share dice. So you roll 3 dice, and then you borrow dice from each of your other fellow teammates. You get 5 dice to use, but you gotta work as a team to decide what's the best. It's just a neat feature that, again, focuses on that co-op. If you are interested, even if you can't get into the Kickstarter or Ford, it won't let you in afterwards, check out some of the gameplay videos for when it comes out. This does not come out till October for Kickstarter, so it's probably gonna be like November, December for retail. But if it's something you're interested in, I would definitely check it out. And my mouse just went all wonky. Alright, this is the City Fall. It's the second game. They are standalones. You can buy this one or the other base game. But instead of getting the turtles, you get all the side characters on this one. It's Splinter, April O'Neil, Slash, a couple other new characters. You also get some of the more, you get like the foot soldiers, the people you might recognize more from the comic books. Bebop, Rocksteady, Shredder. You also get a Dark Leo, which I think is kind of cool. I can't actually wait to read the series now to find out about some of these storylines. Because again, they pulled these stories, some of the images, character designs right from the comic books. You get all your cards, your tokens. Then they had a special Kickstarter exclusive Deviations box, which is basically the Dark Turtles. There's some storyline where they became raised by the Foot Clan, which is kind of interesting. A third expansion that will be coming out at some point. This was unlocked through Kickstarter, so thank the people on Kickstarter for unlocking this. They will eventually come out, is the Secret History of the Foot Clan. So, unfortunately, we get the Kickstarter, people get the human versions of the Ninja Turtles, which is kind of cool. But you get, like, Oroku Saki and Hamato Yoshi, better known as Shredder and Splinter in their old human forms. Plus, early version of Crane, when he's like a warlord. Or, feudal times, rather. You get other foot cards. It's not a full expansion like some of the other ones, but it's still pretty cool. Another expansion that got released, which I would assume will eventually hit retail, but it'll probably take a while, was called Northampton, which is based off one of the stories in the Turtles game. This one has Clea, one of the characters from the storyline, from the Northampton storyline. I'm not familiar with it, but it's still pretty neat. It's extra cards, extra ninjas. They also had a Kickstarter villain pack, which hopefully they release this retail. I know it says Kickstarter exclusive, but it would be cool. It lets you play as the villains. So you can play as Shredder or Bebop against the Turtles, or even against other Shredders or what have you. And then just to show off all the Kickstarter stuff that will be coming, they have The Stranger, Flying Mousers, a Fly Baxter Stockman, Flyboards. We're going to kind of scroll through these sort of quick, just because if you want to see them, they're all up on the Kickstarter page. You want to take more detail. Elpex as a hero, and the other set she's a villain. Get these cool dividers. They've also released some cool older villains that you might know of, like Leatherhead. And it's gonna have all the expansion stuff. Apparently that's all we're getting. Alright, well then the last game I have. This game is actually, if you hung in this far, this is still in Kickstarter for about the next 5 or 6 days from the time I made this video, so maybe by the time I get it posted, it may be 3 or 4 days. Hopefully I get it posted right away. It is a Munchkins miniature game. As I said earlier, I have almost all the card games. I love Munchkin stuff. I have Munchkin Smash Up, bought some of the TCG. So this is basically a little Munchkins miniature game. You move down through the dungeon, defeating monsters, going through different rooms, and then trying to eventually beat the boss. And then when you do is, whether you win or lose against the boss, you start back at the beginning and you keep going until player ends up going up their fame token. I think it's down here at the bottom. Fame token down here. You get various items and equipment. There's various monsters. Also, what's neat about this is, like the original Munchkin, because you never know if someone else is going to backstab you, is on your turn, you're moving through the dungeon, and you're making threat tokens. There's little black skulls on each room you land on. Then all the other players can play threat cards from their hand equal to the number of tokens, but they have to work together because there's only so many to spend. So someone might play a terrible card on you this turn, but then next turn, hey, now it's your turn to play terrible cards. So it's, don't ever feel bad for playing something bad on somebody. Which is kind of a neat feature that way too, because that way it keeps everyone involved the entire game. It's not just, I'm the 4th player, I'll just sit here and twiddle my thumbs till it's my turn. Because you gotta pay attention, what can you do on your turn to actively stop the other player. But versus the original Munchkin game, where you might be like, oh, I don't want to attack this guy because, I don't want to waste it, I want to save it for later, or this. In this game, it almost kind of wants you just to do that stuff every turn, because every turn you redraw new threat cards, so there's no reason to not try and hurt other people. Plus, you don't have to ask for help in combat, or you can't, rather, so it's not like the original game where you don't feel like, I don't want to betray this guy, and then not be able to get help next turn. So we're just going to look over some of the quick stuff that's unlocked in here. They have all the different characters, Dwarf, Warrior, Wizard, a couple of the Super Munchkins, some of the monsters. They have level 2 monsters, they have level 3 monsters, and then they have boss monsters. The monster miniatures, excluding the boss, are actually considered roaming monsters, so they will move around the dungeon as well based on certain cards that are played. So you can try and avoid them if you'd like, and you may be able to. It might be helpful for the first couple of turns, but other players might move them right on top of you. So there's like the threat cards, the loot cards, a bunch of different tokens. And then now in Kickstarter, they've added alternate sex versions of the characters. So you get like male and female elf. You had the male cleric and warrior. The female were already in the base set. They've added some new monsters. The pterodactyl is currently trying to be unlocked. That's why he's a different color. He's not necessarily that huge. Then they also have some expansions already. They have side quests which add the rangers and halflings. And you can currently get this bundled. And these are the only 2 things that are actually in the Kickstarter that aren't optional. You can either get one or both. They have some other some monsters. They're all animals too. What's neat about the characters is that they go dashboards as you gain up your levels. Like you do in the regular game, you gain more powerful. Here it might give you extra dice, more health, a reroll. So that's kind of neat there. There's that. They also had optional buys you can get during the Kickstarter, so if you are interested, you have a Cthulhu set. So it's going to add Cthulhu monster, or boss monsters, some other different Magnus tokens, which I haven't explained yet. And then it's also the Kickstarter exclusive Dead Horse figure. But these optional ones outside of the exclusive monsters will be available for retail as well. So you don't have to rush to get these if you like these guys later on. This is the Board Silly. It's one that kind of pokes fun at board gaming in general. There's the Loaded Dice, a Net Troll, a Shrieking Geek, and then a Meeple Boss. So that's kind of fun. They do have these cool dice you can buy, optional or villain dice, just a different color. And I don't know what happened to my other dice, but there was some colored ones as well. But that's what I have for games coming out. So again, we'll click back to here. We are going to try and finish up the Joking Hazard in the next 2 weeks, hopefully, and get all the expansions that are out. There was like 500 cards in the base game, so it's taking me a while to get through that. But then each other set only has 100 cards, so hopefully I can do that, knock it out in a video or two, and try not to have a bunch of them. And then, like I said, I have other games on here. If you anything you're interested in seeing a content release for, because you guys seem to love the content videos, let me know. I will be doing unboxing content videos for my Kickstarter games. Usually I just open them up, kind of take stuff out, and then show you. I will be cracking them open in front of everybody. Thanks for all your guys' support. Any questions, comments, just let me know down in the comments. I usually tend to follow up within a day or two. Also, last bit of information with the Llamas, not Llamas Unleashed, but I'll do one for that too, but Unstable Unicorns, I'll probably be making an updated how to play video for that, because after I did my last video, a lot of people seemed excited about it and learning how to play, but I've had questions I've had to answer, so I'd like to go through, review that, and update it with all the current information, making sure I'm hitting all these answered questions. That way, if someone watches it, they know everything. This is a super long video, but thanks for sticking in. This is Jason. Catch you guys later. Bye.